Hi friends, welcome to UPSC CSE optional. Welcome to Crack UPSC CSE optional, India's largest online learning platform, Unacademy. Unacademy, you will be getting daily live classes, live tests, quizzes, structured courses, unlimited access to course material and videos on UPSC prelims and mains. Download Unacademy learning app, get daily free live classes. This is Kiran Anishetti, faculty for Public Administration, Political Science, Polity, Issues in Governance and Ethics. I've done my MBA. I've done my MA in Public Administration and Political Science. About to complete my LLB. Got qualified UGC NET. Both the subjects, Political Science as well as Public Administration. 7 times I took prelims. 4 times I took mains with Public Administration optional. Each time scoring around 60% in my Public Administration optional. I have more than 10 years of UPSC teaching experience. I have taught in Telangana Government ST IAS Study Circle, Telangana Government Minority IAS Study Circle, Super 60 IAS Academy, Hyderabad, Challengers IAS Academy, Hyderabad, Pan India IAS Academy, Hyderabad. If you have any doubts or clarifications, you can contact me on my Telegram channel, that is Unacademy_Kiran Anishetti. Friends, today we are going to discuss one of the important topics in public administration optional, that is functions and theories of communication. You can prepare with the top 100 educators of Unacademy such as Runar Patel, Roman Saini, Sudarshan Gujjar, Prakash Kumar, etc. Unacademy will be covering UPSC syllabus comprehensively, such as polity, governance, international relations, optional courses, optional subjects, environment and ecology, art and culture, science and technology, Indian economy, current affairs, answer writing courses, etc. Unacademy is offering plus subscription in which the aspirant will be getting daily live classes, test series, unlimited practice, structured schedule. For 12 months, it is 44,000. If you use my promo code, you will be getting it 39,600. 24 months, it is 64,000. If you use my promo code, you will be getting it 57,600. Unacademy has come up with iconic pattern of subscription. One of the salient features of this pattern of subscription is aspirant in this subscription, he will get personal guidance, personal mentorship from the faculty himself, from the educator himself. He will be guiding the aspirant. He will be evaluating your answer script and giving his valuable comments on your answer script. For instance, if you use my promo code, for 1 year it is 64,000. If you use my promo code, you will be getting it 57,600. For 2 years, it is 99,000. If you use my promo code, you will be getting it 89,100. Apart from 10% discount, I will be guiding you personally with regard to public administration optional, political science optional, general studies paper 2, general studies paper 4. In addition to that, most of the issues related to general essay. Apart from me, Unacademy will assign a team of expert faculty who will be guiding you in their respective subjects. This is how the aspirant will be getting benefit immensely because personal mentorship is very essential to crack UPSC exam. Intricacies of UPSC exam can be known better by the aspirant when he is guided personally by the faculty or educator himself. And evaluation of answer scripts that are written by the aspirant by expert educator is very, very essential to crack it. Hence, I strongly recommend to subscribe iconic pattern of subscription. In addition to these benefits, the aspirant under iconic subscription, he will be getting daily live classes, test series, unlimited practice, structured schedule, personal mentorship as we have discussed just now, daily questions on means, study planner, and personal feedback. Personal feedback. Yes, I strongly recommend for subscription of as iconic pattern of subscription. Communication in organizational functioning, communication plays vital role. Whether it is governmental organization, whether it is private corporation, non-governmental organization, or charitable institution, communication is very, very essential for the effective functioning of the organization. Communication is of two types, formal communication and informal communication. In this session, we will be mainly discussing the theories of formal communication and how formal communication will function. Chester Bernard says he defines communication as system of communication is foundation of cooperative group action. Just by reading the definition of communication given by Chester I. Bernard, just by analyzing the definition given by Chester I. Bernard about the system of communication, we will come to know the significance of communication. He says, system of communication is foundation of cooperative group action. That means communication is pillar to the organizing. Pillar to the organizing. Communication is system of the system of communication is foundation of cooperative group action. What does cooperative group action mean? Cooperative group action means it's an organization. Chester Bernard says an organization or association will be formed for cooperative action. And what he is referring by saying cooperative group action, he is referring to an organization. He defines communication as system of communication is foundation of cooperative group action. Hence, communication is basis of the organization. It is the basis of organization. It is the basis of organization. Functions of communication. Communication acts to control members' behavior in several ways. Communication, it acts to control members' behavior in several ways. Is it controls the behavior of the members of the organization in several ways. It is communication which makes the work to flow, the workers to follow the company guidelines. It is communication which makes the worker to follow company guidelines. Through communication, the organization can disseminate the rules and regulations of the company to the members of the organization. Hence, the workers thus received communication. They can follow the guidelines, the rules and regulations. The, com- the communication can make the organizational members to comply with company policies and programs. Communication, companies' policies and programs can be communicated to members of the organization. Communication makes members of the organization to comply with company policies and programs. Like company policy, Zomato or Swiggy. It, in the light of Corona pandemic, says the company policy is that the food supplier should compulsorily use face mask. He should use hand sanitizer frequently. Before delivering the food item, he should sanitize his hands. Like that, the company policies can be disseminated through communication. It decides the very quality of the company. For instance, in our Telugu speaking states, even to Bangalore also we have this travel. We have a private travel company called HBK. The seats in this travel company will exhaust like as soon as the seats in railway reservation exhaust. They are in high demand. In 1 2 days, the booking will be over. Sometimes within a few hours. Yes. The travel company's rule is that in between the driver will not allow any passenger to get into the bus. In general, what happens if a bus is traveling from Hyderabad to Vishakhapatnam? So some of the passengers who get into the bus who travel from Hyderabad to Vishakhapatnam, they will not travel the entire distance till Vishakhapatnam. They may alight in Rajamandri or some town. These drivers, for the sake of money, in between they allow the passengers on roadside to get into the bus and they will take that money. Because of which the travel time will be enhanced, the safety of the passengers will be at peril. But this particular travel company's policy is that in between, no stranger passenger will be allowed to get into the bus. Once the bus starts at the destination, the same passengers will remain in the bus. Even if any passenger or passengers get down the bus in between or in intermediary destinations, new passengers will not be allowed. This strict policy of the organization is conveyed to the drivers and the assistants who maintain the bus, because of which the services of this travel company are at a high demand. They are at high demand. Communication also conveys the workers about job description. Job description means what are the duties and functions of the worker? What are the duties and functions of the member of the organization? In this context, communication acts as control. It performs control function. In this light, in this context, communication performs control function. Even informal communication also performs this function. Even informal communication also performs this function. Communication fosters motivation by clarifying to the employees about the goals of the organization, by providing feedback about workers' performance, conveying about organizational goals, etc. Like I have observed an educational institution in which the chairman of that educational institution always he says the teaching faculty, the faculty are pillars to the organization, because of which the employees will be motivated. Unfortunately, in some institutions, teaching faculty treated worse than an attender. Even the attender, the table in charge, he tries to dominate over teaching faculty. But in the college, in the college in which I teach, where the management ensures that this non-teaching faculty never exercises any domination or control over teaching personnel, and the chairman always conveys this message: you are the pillar of the organization. You are the pillars of the organization. This communication, this communication conveyed by the chairman, this communication conveyed by the chairman will act as motivating factor, because the owner of the organization is accepting the importance of teachers. This is how communication acts as motivating by providing feedback about the work of the organizational member. Your work is up to the mark, your work is excellent, or you have to improve your work in such a manner. These are the drawbacks in your work. This is how you can plug your loopholes. This is how communication acts as motivate. This is how communication acts as motivating. Communication within the group is a fundamental mechanism by which members show their satisfaction, frustration. In informal groups, in any organization, there will be informal group. As we have studied in relations theory, human relations theory, for the first time it found out the existence of informal groups, the significance and importance of informal groups. In the same way, Chester Bernard also emphasizes upon the importance of informal groups. In any organization, the members of organization, they gather in informal way, in any canteen, in hotel, for lunch or dinner, for breakfast, for tea, or for cocktail parties, in which they express, they give vent to their satisfaction or their dismay or their dissatisfaction, their frustration. In this manner, communication provides for emotional expression of feelings and fulfillment of social needs. This manner, communication provides for emotional expression of feelings and fulfillment of social needs. This is how it acts as ventilation therapy. When we lose cap of pressure cooker, how the pressure in the cooker will be released. In the same way, the member of the organization, he expresses his anguish or discontent or frustration or satisfaction or his desires, his personal problems with his colleagues in informal meetings. Communication acts as ventilation therapy because through that communication, he expresses his emotional feeling. This is how communication fulfills the social needs of organizational members. This is how communication fulfills the social needs of organizational members. For instance, in human relations theory, you might have studied in Hawthorne effects how in that mass interview technique in which the workers freely interact with the supervisors. The workers will be asked by supervisors to express their grievances about company policies and programs. Employees go on expressing their grievances. After that, they express their personal problems as well. After some days, employees will be very happy, very jubilant. Paradoxically, management did not take any remedial measures. Despite the management not taking any remedial measures to improve organizational environment, organizational situation, employees just by venting through their expression, they felt very happy. This is what Elton Mayo terms it as ventilation therapy. And this is how communication fulfills the social need. This is how the communication social needs. By providing the necessary information, communication facilitates decision making. By providing the necessary information, communication facilitates decision making. By providing necessary information, communication facilitates decision making. For decision making, we require technical information, technical advice, the necessary inputs. For instance, in cabinet deliberations, one of the important functions of cabinet secretariat is that they supply the necessary material and information that is required for cabinet delivery. Based on that information, based on that inputs that have been supplied by cabinet secretary and cabinet secretariat, cabinet will be taking the decision. This is how communication plays vital role in taking in decision making process. Types of communications. Upward communication, it is concerned with the employee's relationship with the management. That means employees will be conveying the communication to the management. Employees will be conveying the communication to the management. That is upward communication. Upward communication. Downward communication. It is concerned with management's relationship with the employees. Management conveys to the employees. It may convey the organizational programs and policies. It may convey the objectives of the organization to the workers, philosophy of the organization, etc. Across communication, it refers to communication amongst co-equals, the colleagues. Refers to communication among the colleagues, the co-equals in the organization. Process of communication. The process of communication. Shannon and Warren Weaver developed most widely accepted model of communication. Shannon and Warren Weaver developed most widely used model of communication. The map goes like this. The source, encoding of communication, the content of the communication, channel through which the communication is going to be passed, decoding the encoded communication, the receiver who receives the communication, the noise refers to the disturbance in the process of communication, then feedback from the receiver. Based on the feedback, again, the sender will modify or he will draft the communication. Source, encoding, message, channel, decoding, receiver, feedback, and noise. Feedback and noise. The source is the initiator of communication who wants to transmit his idea, arts, needs, intentions, or other pieces of information to another person. Source refers to the initiator of communication who wants to transmit his or her ideas, thoughts, needs, intention, other pieces of information to another person. Like you might have seen how a spy sends message in Razi picture, the heroine Ahmed, played by Alia Bhatt. He sends decode information. Here, Ahmed is the source who initiates the communication, who wants to transmit the ideas. Today, really, people in Vishakhapatnam city, they should be thankful to Ahmed, not just people of Vishakhapatnam, all our Indians, because that sacrifice saved Vishakhapatnam and India to be destroyed by Pakistani submarine called Ghazi. Her father purposefully makes her to marry one of his friends. His friend and his son, both of them are army officers in that picture. You have seen that picture, you know. And the army officer discusses the plans of Pakistani Navy to attack east coast of Pakistan is near to west coast of India. Generally, we will be expecting the attack from Pakistan on west coast. Hence, we will be deploying our all the forces, all our attention may be on west coast. In this disguise, they hoodwink us and they try to attack on east coast. That's why in that picture, the army officer says to his son, हिंदुस्तान लोग वो आसमान को देखते ही रहेंगे, हम उनके पांव के नीचे जमीन खींच लेंगे. हिंदुस्तान लोग वो आसमान को देखते ही रहेंगे, इस बीच में हम उनके पांव के नीचे जमीन खींच लेंगे. Indian armed forces or Indian government, Indian people, they will be focusing on east coast, but we are going to attack on west coast. Here the paradoxical thing was that the spy sends her information by sacrificing her life itself, but the authorities, they are hesitant to believe. At last, they find some oil on the surface of seashore near Calcutta, and that oil substance resembled, and that oil is used in submarine. Yes, they believed in the information sent by the great spy Simon, and they alerted the navy on east coast. This is how communication plays vital role. Anyhow, in order to explain you, in order to make you to understand the meaning of source, I gave that example. The source is the initiator of communication who wants to transmit, his or her ideas, thoughts, needs, intention, or other pieces of information to another. Second stage is encoding. It refers to the process in which the ideas to be conversed are going to be translated into a code or a set of symbols. Encoding, you see in that picture, they encode, the communication. The way Deepika Padukone encoded communication with regard to drugs, hashish, hush, then liquid, this thing. Ridiculously, she was saying that hush means bigger cigarette, um, mota cigarette, chota cigarette, the thinner cigarette. So that is encoding for our understanding. Encoding is a process in which the ideas to be conversed are translated into a code or a set of codes. This is how the spies or the terrorists they convey to their uh, the receiver in that manner. Generally, it will not be easier to understand. Encoding is a process in which the ideas to be conversed and are translated into a code or set of symbols. Set of symbols. Third, the message is the actual physical product from the source. This is the actual message. Pakistani Navy is going to attack on east coast, that is on Vizag. That is the crux of message. That is message. I want liquid truck. That is message. That means not me. Kind of code language that is used in Bollywood. So that is message, the crux of message. Channel is the medium through which the message is transmitted. Connects source and the receiver. Channel, we may type telegram, we may trunk call, we may send some letter, we may write something on piece of paper and we may give it to a person to pass the information. That is channel. Decoding is the process which translates the message into a form that can be understood by the receiver. Decoding is the process which translates the message into a form that can be understood by the receiver. That can be understood by the receiver. Receiver is the person to whom the communication is directed. Receiver is the person to whom communication is directed. Receiver is the person to whom the communication is directed. Feedback. Feedback, it is the response from the receiver. How you have sent the information, are there any drawbacks, whether the information that you have sent is adequate or it is uh, trivial or insignificant, insufficient, which enables the sender to determine whether the message was received and understood as originally intended. The sender, through feedback, he understands, he determines whether the message was received or not. The way we get acknowledgement, and the sender will understand, the receiver will send the feedback whether the message was understood as originally intended. Whether the message was understood as originally intended. As originally intended. Noise includes those factors in each of the components of communication that reduces accuracy or fidelity of information. Noise includes those factors in each of the components of communication that reduces the accuracy or fidelity of message. It can occur at any stage of communication. Noise, the disturbance which can happen at each component of communication. It reduces the accuracy or fidelity of message. Noise refers to the disturbance, the interception in the communication process at every stage, at source, at encoding, at message decoding stage. At any stage, this noise can happen, which hinders the efficacy of communication or accuracy of communication or fidelity of the message. Now we will discuss barriers to communication. Barriers to communication. Barriers to communication. Barriers to effective communication. First, filtering. It refers to sender's purposeful manipulation of information so that the receiver will see it favorable Filtering refers to the sender's purposeful manipulation of the information so that the receiver will see it favorable. The receiver will see it favorable. Like the management may ask the report from middle management about the feedback of faculty. That faculty may belong to the same caste to which the middle management belongs. Hence, though the feedback is negative on the faculty, the dean or associate dean may be sending the report. Everything is fine. Everything is fine, and he is the best faculty in the country. This is how through filtering, the sender can manipulate the information so that the receiver will see it in favorable situation. This can happen in political parties also. When High Command requested the information about the prospects of the party, Congress party, in Andhra and Telangana after bifurcation of Telangana and Andhra, the intermediaries who conveyed to the High Command, they told the High Command that, oh, madam, we are going to win the elections in Telangana if you are going to bifurcate Telangana. This is how they filtered the information. But it gave the other way around results. Hence, filtering refers to sender's purposeful manipulation of information. Second barrier to effective communication, selective perception. Selective perception. Here, the receiver relatively sees and hears based on his needs, experience, background, and other personal character. For instance, parents from semi-urban or village background, they went to a college to join his child in the college. That college may be a junior college. That junior college imparts training for ACT, Common Law Admission Test, JEE, NEET. Counselor in the college may be explaining the parents about JEE and NEET. As far as JEE and NEET are concerned, parents will be understanding everything in a right manner. But with regard to CLAT, they close their ears. They don't want to hear anything. Because they are tuned. Their perception is tuned by their past experience. Their perception is tuned by their past experience. What is their past experience? An intermediate student's parents means they may be somewhere between 45 to 55 years of age at present. 45 to 55 years of age. When these people used to be very young, when these people used to be in their intermediate or in their graduation, only the students who have done their engineering or medicine, they used to lead comfortable life, like earning handsome salary per month, having good house, car, bank balance, immovable property, etc. According to their experience, If anybody wants to be in neo-rich culture bracket, earning somewhere between 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs per month, he should done his engineering or medicine. That's it. There are no other choices. That is their experience. That's why, as far as JEE or NEET are concerned, they will be paying attention. They will be listening to the counselor very interestingly. But as soon as the counselor discusses about CLAT, Common Law Admission Test, they will close their mind because that is new. And paradoxically, in CLAT, you need not to have mathematical skills, nor you need to have any expertise in biological sciences, as physics or chemistry, sorry, biological sciences and physics and chemistry. Without having proficiency in maths, nor in biological, physical, and chemical sciences, you can have very good career. In Nalsar University, the dean of Nalsar University, one of his interviews a few years ago, he told that 3 lakhs per month campus placements are there. Campus placements in Nalsar University, they offer even up to 3 lakhs per month. That means 36 lakhs, 40 lakhs per annum, which is on par with any IIT. CLAT exam comprises English proficiency test, reasoning, and law aptitude. Law aptitude, English, and reasoning. Only around 20 questions out of 200 will be asked from basic maths. But if you tell these things to the parents who are from semi-urban or rural background, they never pay heed to these suggestions because they are tuned by their experience. They are tuned by their experience. This is selective perception. Apart from this experience, it is also called anecdotal experience. Anecdotal experience. Apart from this anecdotal experience, they have their own needs, their own desires. They could not become engineer. They could not become doctor. They want their children to become engineers. Yes, they impose these desires that have not been realized by them on their children. This is how their needs, their experience, their background, their personal characteristics will determine receiving of information, receiving of communication, understanding of communication. This is called selective person. This is called selective person. That's what I told you. No, receiver also projects his interest and experience into communication. As long as counselor describes the importance and significance of JEE or NEET, they wave their heads as buffalo, like Shah Rukh Khan waves his mundi in Chennai Express when Deepika Padukone says mundi hilao, then वो अपनी मुंडी हिलाता है जैसा these parents from semi-urban rural background, they receive this communication about JEE and NEET. But as soon as the counselor starts describing the significance and importance of CLAT exam or NDA exam, they don't want to receive because they project their own interest, their own experience into the community. They, they project their interest, their own experience into the community. That is selective perception. That is second barrier to effective communication. Information overload. This often we come across on the part of students. 7 hours a day, 8 hours a day, they will be forced to undergo the classes. Individuals have finite capacity for processing data. When the information we have to work with exceeds our processing capacity, that is information overload. Individuals have finite capacity for processing data. After all, we are human beings, we are not computers. We are constrained by various ecological and social constraints. We may be having personal problem in family. Our family member may be suffering from a disease, or our family may be suffering from financial crisis, or it may be suffering from some kind of health problem or any issue in the family because of which we may be disturbed. That is psychological constraint, which is termed as pessimistic reveries by Elton Moy, which is termed as pessimistic reveries by Elton Moy. Social constraint, there may be halla gulla outside the school or college or any strike. Biological limitations, our intellectual limitations. Because of all these factors, individuals will have finite capacity for processing the data. Individuals will have finite capacity for processing data. When the information we have to work with exceeds our process capacity, it is information. For instance, you attend coaching classes. Right from the morning to evening, you attend coaching classes. In the evening, at the end of the day, nothing will remain in your mind. That's why I tell my students, I tell the aspirants that if at all, if you choose a coaching institution for your training, at the most, you should have 3 classes in a day. 2 classes for GS, 1 class for optional. That's it. More than that, if you attend, will be of no use to it. It's like information over. That too, if all the 3 classes were to be completed at a stretch, morning to afternoon or evening 5 to 8, that will be all the more good. Or at the most, morning 2 classes and 1 class in the evening. This will be very, very good for aspirant. He can understand, he will have enough room to study what that has been discussed in the class, to rewind, to practice answers, to ask the questions, how UPSC can ask the questions from this area. How the UPSC can ask the questions from these areas. But more than that, if you attend, it will be information over. Often in schools, especially our Telugu speaking states, parents are mad of this long hours of schooling. Morning 7 o'clock, that poor girl or boy goes to school at 7:30. By the time he or she comes back to home, it will be evening 7:30 or 8:30. They will be subjected to strenuous classroom instruction, after that study hours, which will result in information overload. Which will result in information overload. In this case, individuals tend to select or ignore or pass over or forget the information. As I told you just now, in this instance, the individuals tend to select. That means they may become selective. Whatever subject they want, whatever information they want, or in whichever information they are interested, they will take that only. Or they may ignore the entire bundle of information, pieces of information. Or they may pass over the information, or they forget the information altogether. They may forget the information altogether. Fourth barrier to effective communication is emotions. Emotions. Extreme emotions such as jubilation, depression are most likely to hinder effective communication. In such instances, our rational thinking process will be hampered. Our rational thinking process will be hampered. Will be hampered. Our rational thinking process will be hampered. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, do not react in extreme psychological condition. When you are so depressed, when you are so sorrow, when you are in dismay, do not respond. At the same time, on the other hand, when you are in jubilant mood, when you are so happy, in that extreme also do not respond. Because in these two instances, which are diagonally opposite to each other, we tend to lose our rational thinking. For instance, if you see the interviews given by the toppers, they tell all cock and bull stories. I used to study 18 hours a day. I used to study 16 hours a day. I used to study 20 hours a day. Even while sitting in toilet, I used to study. Even while eating, I used to watch news, international news. My mother used to feed me. All this prattle, childhood prattle, childish prattle, they express because they lose their mind in the intoxication of success. I know one instance in which one girl got IPS, that too in some reserved category. Saying that, you can say, study is not my hobby. In fact, study is my addiction. Study is not hobby. Study is an addiction. UPSC exam is not meant to make you like Ambedkar. It, it is meant to make you a civil servant. And in the intoxicated state of mind because of success, when you express such childish prattle, it will be ridiculous. Hence, here communication theory says when an individual is situated in extreme emotional instances, as extreme happiness or extreme depression or in dismay or anguish, his rational thinking will be hampered. Hence, the communication will not be transmitted effective. The process of communication transmission will not be effective, will not be transmitted effective. So this is why emotion is one of the barriers to effective communication. Emotion is one of the barriers to effective communication. One of the barriers to effective communication. Language. Next barrier to effective communication is language. The technical jargon that is used in the communication. Like in administration, they say loop line posting. What is loop line posting? If you have any of your relatives in police or revenue administration, they will be discussing amongst themselves. That fellow has been posted in loop line posting. That officer is given loop line posting. Tomorrow also, if you are going to be very strict, you will be given loop line posting. What do you mean to say loop line posting? In railways, this word is used, loop line. If you are traveling in an express train, your train, if you are traveling in Rajdhani Express, your train will be passing on main line. The passenger train, the mail or express trains or goods trains will be set aside in small station. The line on which the passenger train or goods train or mail or express is placed or halted in order to give way to Rajdhani Express. That lane is called loop line lane. Loop line. Hence, if any administrator is given loop line posting, it means he is given insignificant post. Insignificant post. But it may not be understood to common man, any person. In the same manner, in the same way, one of the criticisms against our constitution is that it is full of technical jargon, legal jargon. That's why they say the Constituent Assembly was lawyers' paradise, full of technical jargon. If you read PM Bakshi's bare constitution document, consists of so many technical jargon. This is technical jargon. It may be in formal way or even in informal way. For instance, in bureaucracy, in general, the IAS are termed as Babu. It is informal. What does Babu mean? Layman cannot understand. What does Babu mean? Whenever you refer an IAS as Babu, you are taunting him. You are referring the colonial hangover in the bureaucrat, the feudalistic mentality which is still lingering in his mind. That's what you want to refer to when you term him as Babu, which is informal, but it constitutes technical jargon. In Telangana, when Telangana government sanctioned Fortuner vehicles to district SPs and district collectors, next day in Times of India, full fledged news. Babus in Telangana are going to get Fortuners. Babus in Telangana state are going to get Fortuners. What does Babu mean? Even in newspaper, in a front page, it is used. This is how technical jargon can also be one of the barriers to communication. The last one is dogmatism. The attitude, opinions, and beliefs possessed by a person prevents him from accepting the accurate and traditional information. Attitude, opinions, beliefs possessed by a person may prevent him from accepting accurate and traditional information. Accurate and traditional information. For instance, the days of caste politics are day by day weakening. It was clearly evident from debacle of Bua Batija in Uttar Pradesh in last Lok Sabha elections. Slowly, caste politics are weakening. Emphasis on governance factors such as honesty, transparency, lack of scams, performance, demand for these factors are increasing. This is evident from the winning of elections by Arvind Kejriwal. But the old and traditional politicians in conventional political parties, they may refuse and they may do not accept these facts. That is dogmatism. The attitude, opinions, and beliefs possessed by a person prevent him from accepting accurate and additional information. Thank you, friends. Subscribe to Unacademy YouTube channel. Like and share videos. Use my promo code to get 10% discount. If you have any doubts or clarifications, you can contact me on my Telegram channel, that is Academy underscore Kiran Anishetti. Academy underscore Kiran Anishetti.